He has no family.
You want to say that again?
No.
I mean,
he has no family.
Do you want to say that again? I was talking over the first one.
He has no family.
Wow, Andrew, you just got really harsh there in an instant.
It's sad. Daniel Tiger is living alone in that big clock. No parents. At least he gets himself out to school every day. That's something.
Mm-hmm.
So then...
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood.
Well, it's a beautiful night in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
And it's a beautiful night in our neighborhood.
It certainly is, Andrew.
It certainly is, Stephen. That's who we are. This is the podcast.
Got that out of the way.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
What?
I don't know, it's just a thing people say.
Is it?
Yeah, the guy on the bean commercial says it all the time.
We are on episode 1499 of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Ooh.
Mr. Rogers is finally done with Barney the dog.
I mean, it's been one day.
Yeah,
which was the agreed upon taking care of the dog.
True.
Is Bob Troe not married?
I don't know.
Why did he need a dog sitter for one day?
He was going away.
Yeah.
For, I guess, just one day, yeah.
Yeah. I guess his wife might have gone too.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. These are explanations. Yeah, so Mr. Rogers talks about what he did with the Barney.
He went for a walk.
Yeah, dog things.
And we got to experience that whole walk.
In real time.
It felt like it.
This opens with a crane shot, which I was impressed by.
Oh, the dog walking part?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't notice that.
The dog walking footage. It starts up at the trees and goes down, so that's more budget than I expected.
Mr. Rogers was like, okay, we're going to have a dog walking scene this time, so let's try out that crane finally.
Let's rent a crane, yeah. We see some cats when they go on the walk.
Yeah, there's a lot of cats. There's a few dogs.
A birdhouse.
One of the dogs is either really fat or kind of pregnant.
I missed that.
I drew a picture for you.
Yeah, that's a fat or pregnant dog.
Looks like a hammock.
Yeah, or a saddle, I thought it looked like. But a dappled saddle.
Flat on top, very round underneath.
Thin on one end, much thicker in the middle, and then thin again at the other end.
Yeah. Wait, do you have any thoughts about this montage?
Yeah, he takes the leash off the dog when they get to a park and lets it run around, which is not something you would do today.
Unless it was a dog park.
Unless it was a dog park, yeah.
Or unless you just didn't care.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, like, right before that, we see footage of, like, kids playing at this park, like, swinging on swings and stuff. And as somebody who was once not overly fond of dogs, especially not dogs larger than me, I was a little miffed at him for doing this.
Well, you know who else wasn't overly fond of dogs? Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because afterwards, Mr. Rogers talks about how he didn't like it as a child when dogs would jump up.
Yeah. He recognizes that it is scary when dogs jump up.
Yeah.
But he still took it off the leash and just let it run around that baseball diamond. We got to see what is presumably Mr. Rogers' actual neighborhood, so that's sort of fun.
Yeah. There's a lot more trees and stuff.
Yeah, it's a less of a planned neighborhood than...
Also more topographical variants.
Yeah.
Than the...
flat
tabletop neighborhood that we're accustomed to seeing in the...
it's true.
I
never
shots.
thought to wonder what the landscape was in around Pittsburgh.
You know, neither did I.
Or Pittsburgh, as it should be called. And then Bob Troe shows up.
He certainly does.
Does Bob Troe have a mustache, Stephen?
I was also trying to determine this.
Yeah.
We're not watching it with very good resolution. And it's kind of hard to tell if he has a mustache.
Yeah.
I mean, for Bob Dog, he doesn't have a mustache.
No.
because he's got face makeup. But maybe he has a fake mustache like Mr. McFeely.
Maybe he grows it when he has a chance.
Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like you could have like put the dog makeup over a mustache like the Joker did in the 60s.
Yeah, okay. It might add to the effect.
Yeah. I was trying to think if I'd seen Robert Troll with a mustache.
I don't think Robert Troll would have a mustache. He's just got that neck beard.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that neck beard. So yeah, Bob Troll picks up Barney the dog.
He's dressed like he just got back from a trip. Mr. Rogers asks Bob Troll if it was a good trip, and Bob says, "Well, it was a trip. I don't know if I'd say it was good."
Yeah, that was an interesting little bit of... I assume we're never going to follow up on Bob's trip.
No. And Bob was kind of in and out.
Yeah, in and out. He served really just to tie up the dog plot line.
Yeah, tie that up in a bow. And then he leaves, and then he's like, whoa! I guess the dog really wanted to see what was on the other side of the set, because... he was surprised at how quickly the dog left, and Mr. Rogers remarked on it.
That's true.
Actually, before Bob Cho arrived, there was a knock at the door of Bob Tro, and I believe Barney the dog, when the knock came at the door, his head shot up and looked at the Foley artist on the opposite side of the studio as where Bob Tro was entering from the front door.
That's pretty good.
I can't say that for sure. Maybe Bob Tro was actually knocking on the door and the dog just looked in the wrong direction.
It could, yeah. Although the way Mr. Rogers is mic'd up, maybe not.
Yeah, you never know. Or maybe the
and
dog
we never
just
will
didn't
know.
Get the script.
We never will know.
Guess not unless we talk to someone who's involved.
They're all dying. They'll have forgotten.
We have to hurry.
And then Mr. Rogers pulls a stuffed dog out of a cabinet for 6 seconds.
Because as he says, sometimes when you think about real animals, you might want to play with a pretend one.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it and then you realize...
might jump up.
Pretend is better.
This pretend dog won't jump up. And then we summon the trolley to visit the land of make-believe.
But not without first showing off Mr. Rogers'
tie.
New necktie.
He asks if we noticed it, and then we cut into a close-up shot, and even then it is impossible to notice it. Yeah. And only when we cut into a third, even closer shot do we see that, yes, indeed, it has trolleys on it.
Tiny trolleys on a tie made by a friend or procured by a friend of his.
Yeah.
Who presumably saw it and said, I know someone who has a TV show with trolleys on it.
Yeah, exactly. Just so, I mean, it's an alright tie.
Mr. Rogers, I wonder if he's known within his neighborhood as the trolley guy. I mean, he's got a trolley running through his house. He's got a trolley tie now. He's got a framed picture of multiple trolley models.
That's true.
On his wall.
Yeah.
It's kind of his thing.
It is kind of his thing. I mean, cardigans are also kind of his thing.
Mm-hmm. It's always important to have more than one thing.
That's true. What's your thing?
My thing is going to the land of make-believe.
My thing is sound effects.
What's that?
That was a T-Rex.
It sounds just like a T-Rex.
Yeah, it does.
Not the one from Jurassic Park, but like an actual T-Rex is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, here we are in the land of make-believe.
It's nighttime in the land of make-believe.
It certainly is. It's a good thing that someone has set a flashlight on the roof of the trolley.
I thought that was cute.
Or we'd never see a thing.
I genuinely thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah, it was pretty cute.
And then the camera moves the slowest way possible.
It pans over to the Eiffel Tower, and we're like, "Are we doing something?" Nope. And then it starts panning back the other way.
It wants to hit the whole factory, or the whole neighborhood. The factory's lit up nice.
It's all you're thinking about, clearly.
Yeah, it would look nice. And we eventually make our way over to the Platypus Mound.
Are you excited? You've been waiting for the Platypus Mound.
I've been waiting for the Platypus Mound, and not only that, we get an interior of the Platypus Mound.
Yeah, we do.
In the setup, Mr. Rogers said that might be fun to imagine. I was like, yes, it might.
I thought of you.
We get confirmed that Dr. Platypus is indeed married.
Dr. Bill is married to, what is it? Something Jean?
Yeah. Now, estimate for me, how old do you think that these two are?
If I didn't know they were married, I would say that, what's her name? Peggy Jean? What is it?
Yeah, sure. Peggy Jean. That could be. I didn't write it down either.
Lady Platypus.
Yeah. Mom Platypus.
I'd say that she's like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. A young mother.
Dr. Bill, I'd say late 60s, early 70s.
I would say late 60s, right through to 80s, maybe.
He's got
He is
white, wispy hair. I mean, maybe...
And like an unpleasantly dimpled forehead.
I mean, all of these characters have unpleasant complexion.
Yeah, but like he looks like an old orange.
Yeah. Yes. We don't know how platypuses are.
I mean, I guess.
Maybe they age differently than humans.
Maybe so. We don't... It only just occurred to me that platypuses in real life do not live in mounds.
No, I don't really know where they sleep. Do they just sleep like they don't
like
have
just in a riverbank?
They don't have burrows or anything?
They might have burrows, I suppose. I searched platypus mound and all that came up was
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. I didn't think to search platypus burrow.
They don't have lodges like beavers.
No.
Certainly. Mr. and Mrs. Platypus are
remarking on what a lovely night it is.
And what a lovely night they're going to have on their presumably hot date.
Not that hot. He's very old.
It's true. And then they're like, well, we'd best be off. You two have fun because as Mr. Rogers briefed us,
yeah.
Lady Aberlin would be babysitting Anna Platypus.
Anna Platypus, yeah.
And so they say, you two have fun, and you just hear this muffled, we will, from Lady Aberlin, who presumably is huddled in this relatively tiny mound. I don't think you could fit more than 2 humans in that mound.
I mean, it could go deep.
It doesn't, though.
It might.
When we cut inside, you can see the room that they're in, and Anna Platypus's room presumably takes up the entire surface area. Like, if there's more below the surface, Anna Platypus's room is the entire hollow of the above ground portion.
I hadn't thought of it that way. I mean, it's certainly cramped accommodations for someone of Lady Aberlin's stature.
Yes. If she stood up, she could wear the platypus mound as a platypus mound costume.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, it's not big. It's probably a small closet. We don't know if she's standing up or kneeling either, which is a factor on its spaciousness.
And the first thing that Lady Aberlin does is puts Anna Platypus right to bed.
Yeah.
You'd think that her parents could have put her to bed before the shift started, but I guess, like, if your child is going to bed the minute you leave, I don't know.
Yeah.
You'd think they could put you to bed first.
I suppose.
And then Lady Aberlin could have just watched the platypus's cable.
Yeah,
for the
I was going to say, I don't know what she's doing after Anna Platypus goes to Anna Platypus.
Well, I can tell you what she's not doing after Anna Platypus goes to bed. Standing upright. So they're chatting. Anna Platypus is in bed, and
Anna Platypus really puts herself to bed in a lot of respects.
Yes.
She sings her own lullaby.
Lady Aberlin this whole time is on the presumably lower level with her elbow resting on the
landing
on the floor that the bed is on.
Yeah, I like the design. I mean, it's not much of a design, but I'm a sucker for any sort of Fraggle Rock aesthetic. And this is another good example of it. I like living in caves, I guess, is the moral here. Anna Platypus sings to herself, all the pretty little horses, brackets, traditional brackets.
Yeah, this was a good song. I really liked it. I would go to sleep to this song.
It's a real song.
It was like, is it an actual song?
It's a traditional lullaby.
Okay, now, is the lyric, "Go to sleep, ye little platy," one of the original lyrics?
Probably not. Okay, say that is.
That's why I was thinking that it was
addition,
an original tune.
No, see, I thought it sounded vaguely familiar, and then when I searched some line from it, it immediately came up.
It's about going to sleep and having all the horses when you wake up.
Yeah, exactly. It's a song for heirs to ranch fortunes.
Yes.
Lady Aberlin seems a little dubious during this song.
She's like, oh boy, am I going to have to talk Anna out of a horse?
And I'm almost wondering, I wasn't sure if she has jumped ahead to, is she going to want a horse? Or if, I'm starting to wonder if Lady Aberlin just has sort of a constant expression of vague unease.
She's just spent the entire week managing everyone's expectations.
Yeah, it seems like that might be her base state.
I feel like she's a real negative influence on the land of make-believe. Like, it's a land where anything you imagine can come to fruition.
I mean, the first thing we've ever see her do in the land of make-believe is help organize an anti-war protest.
Uh-huh.
So you can understand, I think, why she is a little... She is it's just nothing but problems for her.
Yeah.
That she has to solve. But she doesn't have to do much because Anna Platypus talks herself out of having a horse.
Yeah, she's like, where am I going to keep this thing?
Where am I going to keep it?
My friend can barely fit in this house.
See, now I was thinking sort of the opposite. This platypus mound clearly has an enormous amount of unused space.
Yeah, that's true. A horse would be more cramped than a Lady Aberlin, but if it was lying down, it might fit.
I mean, it depends on the size of the horse, doesn't it?
I suppose so.
I mean, she suggests housing it in the palace garage, and from what we've seen of the palace's fleet of vehicles, a horse would have trouble staying in there too.
Imagine a town, Andrew, where every home and public facility accommodated giraffes, and you've basically got the land of make-believe.
Yeah,
with all of these mezzanine levels with giant giraffe.
I thought you were going to say imagine a town where you could just house your horse in the palace garage, no problem.
No.
Which is also true. And in fact, the king has decided to hold a parade in honor of Anna's birthday.
Yes.
Because he loves a parade, I guess.
What else is this king going to do with himself?
Yeah. Lady Aberlin reassures her that in addition to the big parade, she can also have a quiet party with just Daniel and Prince Tuesday. She says, okay, then a parade seems all right. And then she does the universal puppet turning their head away from camera to go to sleep because their eyes don't close.
Yes, we all expected that would happen, or else she'd just be sitting in there with her eyes.
I mean, I thought they might have cut before she tried to go to sleep.
She doesn't want a horse.
No, she wants a kitten. That's right.
She wants a kitten, which I'm concerned if Henrietta Pussycat finds out about this. Any new addition to the neighborhood threatens Henrietta's identity, but kittens especially.
No, that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Could Henrietta... If Henrietta got a kitten for her birthday, would that be like an adoption? And
I think it's like a Mickey Mouse Pluto thing. One is a funny animal and the other is just an animal. But I mean, yeah, Henrietta or Anna Platypus is already friends with Daniel Tiger. Maybe this is just her working out like her latent crush on Daniel Tiger.
A little creepy.
Yeah, it is a little creepy. It's a little creepy to want a pet that looks exactly like your friend.
I mean, Daniel's a tiger. Henrietta's the pussycat.
But I mean, he looks like a kitty cat.
That's true. He
does
not look like a
imagine if I was like, I would like to have a pet, Stephen, that looks exactly like you, but it's a baby and will one day grow to be several times your size, but still look basically like you.
If Anna Platypus does get a live action kitten for her birthday, it will someday grow to exceed her in size.
It's a real Clifford the Big Red Dog situation.
Yes, but in which Emily Elizabeth shares neighborhood with giants.
Right.
Who are capable of taking care of this dog without trouble.
And also in which Clifford the Big Red Dog is never mentioned again after probably the first week.
Yeah, yes. True. That's probably a fair bet to make.
Anyway, from there we move to the museum go-round,
where Lady Elaine Fairchild has finally woken up from her grogginess. We have a fully ripe Lady Elaine after all of these days of tameness.
Right. I mean, this is still pretty...
In the dark of night, Lady Elaine Fairchild has busted out her enormous Rolodex of contacts.
And she is going to do this parade upright.
Her first number is 111-1112, which is the number for Whales Unleashed and Unlimited.
Yeah. She asks if they do rentals, and indeed they do.
But only if you're licensed.
Yeah. But Lady Elaine has her whale certification.
Yes. She says, I have been for years.
Well, that's what she says about her ape certification.
Yes, I figure it's all the same certification.
Oh, you can't possibly... It can't possibly be the same licensing to have a whale and to have an ape.
Presumably you can get licensed for one or the other, but I imagine Lady Elaine, who seems to be licensed for all of these animals, or at least claims to be, probably just did the full... and got like a single license for all of them.
Do you think the museum go round is like... Do you think it has like a license to be a zoo also?
Maybe.
Here's a fun fact I discovered on the internet. Before the platypuses moved in, there was a family of frogs who lived in that location.
And they just got kicked out?
No, they moved to Westwood.
Right, yes, I heard about that.
But Mrs. Frog, who had some sort of name, was originally the curator of the museum.
Oh, so what did Lady Elaine do?
I mean, I think she still probably owned and operated the museum around, but yeah, she was.
So they're at least at one time.
She was a curator.
There was a staff.
Yeah, and as it happens, they moved to Westwood to help at the zoo. So there you go.
Zoo run by frogs.
Yeah. Museum run by puppets. Platypus with a cat.
The cost for a whale is $14.
Yeah, 14. That's just a one-day rental. It's a parade.
Yeah.
Parade package.
As Lady Elaine is hanging up the phone, finishing with this dealing, the representative who talks like a whale, I suppose, is like, all right, thank you, Lady Elaine. And she's like, oh, he knows my name. How do you like that?
Yeah.
She's real flattered that this whale person...
They got caller ID, probably.
I was thinking she just called them enough times.
I mean, both of those things can be true.
Yeah, she also calls A0123, which is the ape people.
Yeah, Apes About, I think it was called.
Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't really get a good read on what it was called. Nothing as good as Whales Unleashed and Unlimited, at the very least.
She also calls for kangaroos.
She's going to call for kangaroos. We don't see that call happen, unfortunately, because we are distracted by the activities of Night Watchman Joe Negri. Yeah,
handyman Joe Negri is walking around with a flashlight, looking for
trouble.
Yeah, which if he's at the museum go around, he's probably found it, but he walks right by it.
Yeah. Look, she's just making calls and doing business, and it's just for parade. This is very, very above board.
Except that she's doing it in the dark of night.
Yeah, it's late.
Okay.
It's not even that late, because Daniel Tiger is still awake.
That's true. He's at his clock, finishing up his magic electric supersonic firemobile.
Yeah, super electric magic Mo-Firebeel.
Which Vision has kind of been scaled back.
Yeah, it ends up just being a wooden truck.
Yeah.
Doesn't even look like a fire truck, actually, just except it's painted red. Yeah, it turned out kind of underwhelming. I don't think the wheels even turn in real life.
Well, he said he can push it wherever he wants, but I don't know if that means drag
Yeah,
it.
she can push it wherever it wants, but when he pushes it wherever he wants, it doesn't turn the wheels. Which is probably just as well, since it is a prop for a narrow ledge, but I don't know.
He almost in demonstrating pushes it off of the ledge, and
I think I would rather get the picture that he did of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so then he offers to show handyman Joe Negri a song that he was singing.
Yeah.
Then he immediately walks it back, saying, "Look, I just made it up."
I'll spur the moment.
But Joe Negri still wants to hear it.
It's about waiting.
It's about waiting. I hope you enjoyed this song because we're going to hear it about 1,000 more times.
I hope you enjoy listening to two people talk about this song, because we're about to talk about it 2,000 more times.
Yep.
Daniel Tiger sings his song about waiting.
Yep.
And then handyman Joe Negri offers to accompany him.
He just has to go get his guitar.
Accompany him on the guitar.
So go get it, he does.
And while Daniel Tiger's waiting for handyman Joe Negri to get the guitar.
And sing about waiting.
He talks to
us. Yeah, unprecedented in the land of make-believe.
He just turns to the camera and starts chatting it up.
I think he's the first person besides Mr. Rogers to talk to the camera anywhere.
Yeah, yes, he is. And so he asks us, what do you do while you're waiting?
Make some orange juice, maybe.
How do you like to wait? What's up with waiting? I haven't really planned these questions out. Yeah,
and
what are your thoughts on...
comes back
hey,
with his guitar.
There he is. He asks him, so what did you do while you were waiting for me to get back? And he's like, I was just talking to my television neighbors. And handyman Joe Negri in that moment, for the first time in years, notices the camera.
Yeah.
He looks over at it, and he's like, good.
So then they sing the song slowly so that Joe can learn how to play it on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Then they sing it like 2 or 3 more times. Daniel Tiger, I guess, is still up.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just think it's interesting that this segment opened with Anna Platypus going to bed, and Daniel Tiger is...
He's a bachelor.
Yeah, he does not... He seems to live alone.
Mm-hmm.
He has no family. So then Joe walks away back towards the trolley. He sings the song again.
Mm-hmm.
The trolley comes by. The flashlight is still on the front, but it's turned to face the back as it goes backwards.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really thought about the fact that the trolley doesn't turn around.
Yeah, well, that's because it's a trolley. If it was a train, it might.
Yeah.
It might not. I guess a trolley could turn around, but this one certainly doesn't.
Joe kind of makes a remark to the trolley, and he says, "Oh yeah, it's tomorrow's going to be Hannah's birthday," and I was like, he probably said Anna. I should go back and listen, but he definitely said Hannah. But I guess it's close enough to Anna that we're going to use that take.
Yep. That was a long take. When was the last cut?
I don't know.
Way back there. So we return to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Yep. Yeah, so...
what do you do when you're waiting on a trolley?
Make sure that the flashlight is secured.
I like to make a glass of orange juice. What about you? Apple juice?
No.
No?
No, it doesn't take very long, so I don't really do anything. I just sit quietly. Here we are in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers sings that song like 2 more times.
Yeah, and he offers us the opportunity. They're really trying to hit it home with the audience participation in this episode.
Yeah.
There have been times before where Miss Rogers kind of suggested, you could snap at the part where I snap, or you could kind of sing along with this part.
Yeah,
you probably
this time
know.
he straight up drops
This
out
time
to the
he's
last
like,
verse.
You have to do this verse on your own. I'm going to kind of mouth the words, but it's all you.
Piano's going to really hit the melody line, but...
I did not participate.
I also did not participate.
I don't know why he
Daniel Tiger asked if we wanted to sing along earlier, and I just wrote in my notes, not on your life, Daniel.
Thank you for asking, no thank you.
Thank you, no thank you. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a slow episode, by and large.
But we finally got the Lady Elaine we all know and love.
That's true. We finally got the inside of the platypus mound. We got some good stuff, just not a lot to talk about.
It's true. We're only 33 minutes in. Well, be sure to check out the Tumblr. Please won't you be my.tumblr.com. We will have pictures of
all sorts of things.
For example,
things.
JPEGs? Yeah.
GIFs?
Yeah.
A YouTube link?
Probably.
MPEGs?
Very unlikely.
PNGs?
Semi-occasionally.
Yeah, I prefer PNGs to JPEGs as a rule.
But JPEGs don't take as long to load.
It's true.
Next week we'll be back with episode 1500.
End of the week, we're going to see a parade, hopefully. Maybe we'll just see people talk about a parade.
There'll be whales, apes, kangaroos, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, she's licensed.
Our theme song was provided by Dan Brisbane.
Dan Brisbane of Dan Unleashed and Unlimited.
And our trolley transition tune was made by Rindale.
For the low, low price of a 14.
We'll be back when the week is new.
Yes, we will, Stephen.
And we will hopefully have more ideas than just what we've had here today.
Yeah, we didn't have many ideas this week.
Andrew, I hope you'll have things you'll want to talk about.
Yeah, I'll bring some things to talk about.
Good. I also will do that.
All right.
Great.
Play us out. Hey, it's the theme song. And then some sort of clip from the episode.
What kind of clip from the episode?
Oh, probably something Lady Aberlin says.
So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my podcast?
I love to work.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Whales Unleashed and Unlimited?
Oh, good. Do you rent whales by the day?
Are you certified?
Certainly.
Our rate is 14.
14. All right. Send over a big whale for tomorrow. It's parade work. Just for fun.
Okay, Lady Elaine.
Oh, I knew who I was. Well, now don't be late now.